to Get With It Programming. I'm Chase Ingram.
I'm Captain America.
And along with me is Bill Grundler.
Wolverine.
And hi, everybody.
What's up?
Happy Friday.
Oh, dude, it's so nice.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, I'm glad it's Friday. Dude, I had a busy week. All the affiliated owners out there, for those of you that have your coaches that are working classes and you guys, everyone's in a routine and everyone does their thing, you got to make sure you thank them, because when someone goes out for whatever reason, like I had one that got sick and I had one that's on vacation, and all of a sudden I was stuck doing the early classes, and I don't normally do the early classes. I do a lot of classes already, and then you add that on top, and
you
I'm
do
like,
a lot of classes.
I'm fucking tired right now. But it's been so fun. I get to hang out with all the people. I love that.
Yes. Happy Friday. Happy midday. As Bill and I were saying, is like if you guys are on your 9 to 5 coffee break or at the water cooler.
The water cooler. Union break. Take your union.
Your union break. Yes.
Take your union break.
Those of you doing government work. Welcome to Get With The Programming. We are going to talk about the Rogue Invitational Qualifiers. We're going to talk about the C and the Q.
C and the Q.
The C and the Q. What those are, what their purpose is, and then go through the events that they have for those. There are 2 community workouts for the C qualifier, which I don't even know if it's a qualifier. I think it's just a C.
It's a thing. It's a dude. See, I thought that was when I first saw the Q. I'm like, okay, cool. The qualifier makes total sense. The C must be the competition. So that's what the competitive events are going to be. I went to that and I'm like, wait, sandbags and we're doing. Wait, and you can do a bar on this one if you want to. Street parking. Oh, community.
Community.
That's what it stands for. Got it.
Samsonite.
Got it.
We'll go through the C workouts. That is the community online competition that they're hosting. There are 2 of them. And as you said, it is a collab with Street Parking, which would be Miranda and Julian Alcaraz, which they listen. Every time it comes up, I just want to say how proud I am of both of them and what they have built from the ground up, from the garage out, has been nothing short of incredible. Absolutely incredible. And the community they built and the way they center around the mindset and emotion about training, I think is needed in the space. It's not outside CrossFit. What they're doing is...
No, dude, it's exactly CrossFit.
It's exactly CrossFit, but the way they approach it and their community that they have built through it, I think is incredible. And there was a space for it, and they filled it beautifully.
Yeah, I love the way that it is. Here we are as CrossFitters now. Everyone tries to outfit the crap out of their home gym if they have a home gym. And they started with you don't need a lot of equipment. You don't have a lot of time. Just go grab this thing and go do some work. And that niche that they really reestablished out of what CrossFit was, and it kind of grew to what CrossFit is now. They kind of reestablished that OG footprint. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, really cool. So we'll go through those. We'll go through the C first, and then we'll switch over to the Q. The Q is the online qualifier for the Rogue Invitational. I believe this will be the 5th year of the Rogue Invitational. It'll be in Austin, Texas. It's been there. I guess this will be the 3rd year in the row. The first year it was basically at Rogue headquarters in Columbus, Ohio. The 2nd year it was online because
it had to be
things. And then since 2021, 22, and now 23, it has been really in Round Rock, but just outside Austin, Texas. And it's been the facility that they have, the whole setup there is absolutely incredible. So if you couldn't make the games and you want to see games athletes do games level tests, go to the Rogue Invitational. It's the last weekend in October. I don't think tickets are on sale just yet. But it is, they host it in a local AAA ball club facility. It's awesome.
It's cool.
It's a great setup. The intimacy of it, and then there's also the strongman competition as well. That is super fun to watch. And I think and I would love how you feel about this, is that since I started doing CrossFit, I can actually have a better appreciation, excitement, and understanding of things like strongman, things like Olympic lifting, things like powerlifting, which goes along with Rogue's Iron Game thing of really getting a better appreciation of all those different sports that include basically the barbell.
Well, okay, so what do? We take all of the good things in sport and fitness and life and whatever and bring it into our training regime. So we CrossFitters are jacks of all trades. We're dabblers. So we play in all those things. So it's fun when we get, we do some gymnastic type things, but then I can watch gymnasts and I can have a completely different appreciation for that. We do strongman stuff, and then I can watch these guys do things that are just unbelievably, guys and girls do unbelievably amazing things with weights that we aren't used to doing. Same thing with running, same thing with swimming. So we are exposed in playing all of these things. So it is very cool to be able to see, our inspirations, what we've taken these elements from these other sports and brought them in. So it's fun to watch where we actually took it from. Olympic lifting, all that. I mean, we like to play in all of that realm. It's really cool. And dude, I don't know. All of that stuff is cool where the competition is. I like to see the grandiose things that get built.
Yep.
Like a hill. We're going to put a hill out there.
Yeah, the hill. Kenneth, no, not like those things.
No, except for those things.
We're poor carbon copies of CrossFit, exclusively Grid League. High Rocks is a completely different thing. That being said, High Rocks people should have a better understanding of CrossFit, seeing as how they, started their own fitness racing thing.
Whoa, hold on.
Time is like I do appreciate watching what they do.
Kenneth, that's on purpose.
Kenneth's being a troll.
Don't be a jerk, dude.
But
you know better than that, Kenneth.
He's just fucking with. That was good.
I know.
I just knows how to push my buttons. Bastard.
Yes, he does.
And
wall balls at 9 feet.
What do you think about this? Huh? It says CF right there.
Oh, look at you.
Got a new hat. Add a new hat to the game.
Is that out of the CrossFit apparel? Online apparel store?
Look at wow, look at this. I didn't even know this was ready to pop up. But if you guys are unaware, CrossFit has launched its own or relaunched the apparel store. So you go to CrossFit.com. Right here, it says new, and here's the store. Don't worry about signing up. I already did that. But they got all these new shirts in. Skip the shirts. They need to do a better job with that. I'll just be completely honest. But man, hats, love them. Old school, CrossFit on them. The accessories are my favorite ones. You guys got the flags. You've got this notebook. I need to get one of these because I like to log my stuff.
I can't see what you're talking about.
Oh, wait.
Look at it. There they are.
There it is. There it is. Let me start over then. Go to CrossFit.com. New store. Shop now. Get in there. Men's, women's shirts.
I see. Welcome to CrossFit.
Yeah. And hats. I like these. This notebook. I can't.
Still can't see it.
You still can't see it?
I see workouts with it. There it is.
There it is. Oh, it's a totally different site. Sorry. Hats, water bottles, moleskin. Just a shirt that says CrossFit on it, please. Headbands. Meh. The shirts are. We can do better.
Have you kept? Do you remember the very first CrossFit shirt you got?
Yes.
Do you have the very first CrossFit shirt you ever got?
Define CrossFit, like from my affiliate?
The very first CrossFit shirt, whatever. Whether it was when you got your level 1, when you made your first shirt. I mean, you would have had to have gotten your level 1 before you hopped in. Like, do you remember your very first shirt?
So the shirt I always wanted when I started at my CrossFit affiliate, the first one I ever did, which is called CrossFit Dallas Central. Rest in peace to the name. Was this blue shirt, and it had CrossFit. It was blue and white, and it just said CrossFit, I think Dallas Central below, and then had this like evolution of like characters. Like someone was doing a deadlift, and then a kettlebell swing, and then a tire flip, and then a front squat, or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And I was just obsessed with it, and they had run out, and I could never get one.
Ooh.
I vividly remember not being able to get that. I think my first one was, it was like a red shirt and it said "We Make Ninjas" on it.
Okay.
Red and white. I don't have that anymore. But I do have a shirt story for you that will haunt me for the rest of my life, if you would like to hear that.
Yeah, bring it on.
All right. Take my level 1. This is in 2009. The CrossFit Games has come and gone. And going into 2009, unbeknownst to us, is that they were moving from Aromas to Carson. Well, they had made a bunch of Aromas shirts for the 2010 CrossFit Games. And they were basically handing them out at this post-seminar as just keepers.
Yeah.
Like, hey, it's not going to be there or whatever. And I am not a date on shirt guy. I think I've said that before.
Yeah.
So if there's like, hey, if I have a CrossFit Games shirt and it says 2022 CrossFit Games, I usually get rid of that shirt. So I have always been this person. So I tossed the CrossFit Games 2010 Aromas California shirt that would now be the world's greatest collector's item because it never happened there.
Yeah.
And would never be made again.
You don't want to bootleg it? You wouldn't bootleg it?
No, that has haunted me to this day that I tossed that shirt. What was your first CrossFit shirt?
My very first one was my level 1 t-shirt. And it was the one that they sent out. It was that weird kind of milky white, creamy white kind of colored shirt that had the all it said was CrossFit Forging Elite Fitness, but it didn't even have the font that they use. The current one. It was the one before that. And I actually remember hearing Sevon say something about, or maybe it was, no, actually, I think Glassman was on the show with them. And they were talking about how they purchased that font, the CrossFit font. Like someone made it or whatever, and they bought it. They own that, whatever it is now. And I have it down in downstairs in storage because one of the ones I want to do is all of the shirts that either I've gotten, that the gym has made, that we've had at different competitions or whatever, and be able to like put all of those up in a way that it doesn't look like you're just sticking t-shirts up on the wall. I got to figure out a way to do it.
We used to do that at the gym is we'd get drop-ins and we just pin the shirts into the wall.
Right.
And it was like our wallpaper. Yeah.
Which is really cool. I want to find another way to do it. And that shirt I always look at and I crack up because it's like, it's really a hunk of shit shirt, honestly. The one that I wanted that I never got was my Pukey the Clown for getting into the trophy awards that I never got still.
Yeah.
And that one haunts me because that was the original Pukey Clown throwing up in the bucket, the ugly looking clown. But that's one that I never got.
Interesting.
But yeah.
That's some heartbreaking shirt stories.
I know. Come on, CrossFit. Help me out.
Yeah, I've had some conversations with people that are running that, and I was like, hey, all you have to do is put CrossFit on about 30 different types of apparel, and you will sell thousands of items.
Right.
You don't need call Fran, 2115-9. That, we don't need those. We don't need those. All we need is simple. Simple is best. CF on a hat.
It's a brand.
CrossFit on a hat. It's the brand.
It's the brand. Like Reebok. Everyone bought Reebok just to wear a Reebok shirt. Noble. Why would you buy a Noble shirt? Because it says Noble on it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why people buy them.
Yeah.
CrossFit.
This is a Noble shirt. And I like it because it doesn't say Noble on it.
There you go.
It's like hats, headbands, t-shirts, 3/4 length baseball tees, crops, tank tops, joggers, sweatpants, shorts, headbands, sweatbands. What else? Bandanas, flags, stickers.
CrossFit.
CrossFit. You don't need to spend money on graphic artists. You don't need to spend money on these like digital prints. It's like CrossFit. And just put it on everything and it'll be fine.
Yep.
We don't need anything beyond that. So, but if you guys want to get some new stuff, go to the CrossFit store, check it out. Let us know what you think. All right, let's get into what we are here to talk about. That is the 2 qualifiers, one being a community workout worldwide, the other being a qualifier for the Rogue Invitational. We'll start with the C. And they have it. C is an online community event programmed with street parking for all skill levels. This C is open for anyone. $25 gets you entry plus an official Rogue C t-shirt. Once you've completed the community event workouts, God, that was confusing. Submit your scores using the Beyond the Whiteboard app, and they have like a leaderboard. 10% of all registration fees goes to the 2023 community event, which goes towards the Rogue Invitational prize purse, which is a big thing here too, is that Rogue puts so much into their prize purse for these individual athletes. It's insane.
Yeah, it is.
And it constantly goes up.
Yeah.
Constantly goes up. So the C is just basically a 2-event online community event partnered with Street Parking, and they have a worldwide leaderboard. This is workout 1. Says 10 down to 1. Sandbag power clean, sandbag thruster, burpee over the sandbag. Your goal time is around 8 to 12 minutes. They have suggested weights, 60 to 80 pounds, 40 to 60. If you want to use a barbell, 95 to 115, 65 to 75, dumbbell version. And you just go from there. And what this is just a bar complex or a weightlifting complex.
Yep.
Power clean, thruster, burpees over the object. 10 down to 1. Pretty much hit every single movement pattern you could possibly get through. Pull from the floor above the shoulder, squat and press overhead, burpee, ground to, full body.
Pressing, hinging, jumping.
Yeah.
I think this is really cool. Like, this is an event that everyone can do, and it's like, it's not intimidating.
Right.
Because you know that, like, once you get past 8, it's like, okay, it's all downhill from now. I'm good. I can do, that many burpees or whatever they're worried about, the thrusters or whatever it is, even with the barbells that they're using, the weight that they use. So this is, to me, extremely inviting for people to do.
Wait a second. Colton, is this really you? Are you really here?
No way. Seriously?
I don't know. But Kenneth Simon is like,
cards.
You know what haunts me is not getting a Colton Mertens WOD Zombie card.
Yeah.
And then he just, I don't know, is that you? I know I'll see you later tonight. Not in person. That's kind of weird. Anyways,
but anyway, this is it's super inviting, Here's
a good question from Sean. I don't understand how the weights are negotiable, but there is a leaderboard. Why would you do 80 pounds over 60? Because there are no winners.
Right.
It's just a community event, everybody on the board. That's how Street Parking works. It's just a worldwide people of like, we all did this together at the same time, and we're enjoying and celebrating each other's activity.
And that's what's important about the why of what you're programming. Are you programming to find a winner, or are you programming for people to be involved and be part of the issue of it?
Ready for a great example? Monday class. Is there a winner at your affiliate every day?
Nope.
Does
everyone's score is on there.
Different? Is everybody's score written on the whiteboard? They were
everybody.
Everybody's scores written on the whiteboard?
Everybody.
And does everybody just enjoys like, hey, guess what, guys? We all did this together.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's a community event. That's all. And not with a winner or loser. Think of the leaderboard as the whiteboard. That's the best way I could describe it.
No, that's exactly what it is. I mean, if you're going to have all these different alternate options and, suggested weight ranges, you want people to be able to come in and do it. So I think the idea of the leaderboard on there is our version of the old CrossFit.com comment section. You would do the workout that's written up that day, and then you'd say, I'm Bill. I'm really fucking old, and I'm 6 feet tall and 195 pounds, and I got this score, and I did this weight with this setup or whatever. You're just posting what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's accountability of being involved is what it is.
Oh, I like that. An accountability board.
Yeah. For this particular one, not a participation award, an accountability award. An accountability board, not award. Board.
Accountability board. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So, 10 down to 1, power clean, thruster, burpee over a weight, whatever weight you're using. Sandbag, barbell. And you know what's also cool here is to show you that you can express your fitness with a lot of different tools other than just a barbell. It's like,
to get the same intent.
Yeah, I don't have a barbell in my garage. I'm like, okay, what do you have? It's like, I have a sandbag. Okay. I have one kettlebell. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe it's kettlebell swings, single arm thrusters on one side, single arm thrusters on the other side. Maybe it's just goblet squats and you press it overhead. I don't know. But and burpees over the kettlebell suck because that handle is higher than actually the barbell is once it's on the
You know what'd be
ground.
sick is if someone did it in the garage with like an old school, heavy, huffy dirt bike. They
Yeah.
did everything with the sand. You could do a dirt bike power clean, dirt bike thrusters, and burpees over the dirt bike.
Yeah. And the thing I like about street parking is they show that fitness is attainable with anything.
Yeah, you just have to do it.
It's not
Like it takes
the equipment you have at your disposal.
right. It takes all the barriers of entry down. It's like, look, if you want to get fit, you can get fit. Here's a bunch of different ways to do it. Come up with some on your own if you need to. Just get after it.
Okay. C workout, community workout number 2 for time. Pyramid chipper, 60 dumbbell farmer lunges, dumbbell in each hand, 50 alternating dumbbell snatch, 40 box jump overs, 50 alternating dumbbell snatch, 60 farmer carry lunges. Weights suggested 40 to 50 pounds for the men, 24-inch box, women 25 to 35 pounds, 20-inch box. That's a range. Okay, so in workout 1, hinge pull from the floor in a power position, thrusters 55 total, and then burpees over. Now we're doing lunges with dumbbells in our hand, hinge pull to overhead with a single dumbbell. Box jump overs, no weight, so now we're jumping, and then go into snatch in the dumbbell. 10 to 15 minutes is the goal range. And the big thing there that I like too is that it's giving you a time frame to help decide what the right weights are for you.
Yeah.
So there you go. What do you mean? If I do this with 50-pound dumbbells, I am extremely fatigued after this one.
I think this one is way more difficult than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
The other one, if you look at how it's set up, I mean, the weight's not over. I don't think the weight's as heavy on that one, even though, look at 95 pounds or whatever it's saying that the sandbag's supposed to be. 115, I think, if it's a barbell. But this single arm dumbbell snatch, 100 of them, that's going to be spicy for a lot of people.
Right, 100.
And if you're a fit person and you're not doing the actual cue and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get after this. This is gonna be an ugly, painful. If you're doing it right, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
So it's awesome. I think this one, man, I'd be way more nervous to do this event than the first one.
Man, I don't know. That first one, it's just gonna hurt different.
But I think because it will. But because it breaks up, like this one, like you're in it for the long haul. Like
because the big chunk.
Yeah,
right? It's like change with a
transitions get really nice.
Transitions become bigger and bigger and bigger.
This one, if you transition, you're not gonna do as well. I see how I change that. If you transition too soon or break it up, you're gonna lose. I mean, not do as well.
Not do as well as you could have. Yeah. And I like it.
I like this one too.
And again, community fitness at its simplest, I should say, for the C. So those are your 2 community events for the Rogue Invitational. Again, a little partner with Street Parking. So let's go over to the Q. Now, the Q is an online qualifier for the Rogue Invitational, which is as it's in its name, an invitational heavy event. They usually look at the top 10 to 20 individuals that finished the most recent CrossFit Games. So they'll look at 2023, invite the top 20, see who comes, maybe backfill from there. And those that didn't qualify for the CrossFit Games, that won't get a direct invite, do this 4-event online qualifier for the Rogue Invitational, where they'll take 5 men and 5 women.
Which is crazy.
Which is not a lot.
Dude, that is so crazy.
and that being said, is we also got to think about what type of athlete is going to this. These are games athletes.
Yeah.
These are games athletes. This is a games level competition. This is not quarterfinals. This is not semifinals. This is basically games elite qualifying for this. And with only 5 spots, I would look at the qualifier as, especially with only 4, this needs to be a very robust test. top to bottom, not a lot of events to do it with. And the difficulty level of this, I believe, should be elevated for the demographic taking the test and the people they're trying to find for the competition.
Absolutely. Totally. These should not be like open style events. They should be aggressive, hard, heavy, technical, high skilled out of the gate, because it's just like you said, it's not a gate to get in to a good competition.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gate to get into the games virtually.
Right.
Like those are the people that you're going against.
Only games.
Right. There's not a whole lot of like unknowns that show up at the Rogue Invitational.
Right.
And
this is not even outside. So like think of Last Chance Qualifier that we've had, where it was after all the semifinals, 38 of the 40 qualified and we're only taking 2. But you're taking 2 to fill the bottom 2.
Right.
We're taking the top 20. So this is even more robust and important than, say, what the old Last Chance Qualifier was.
Yeah.
Also done in 4 events, mind you.
Right.
So as we look at the programming, we want you guys to understand is what we are testing and trying to get to before we analyze the programming, right? We're not going to analyze it like the Open to get to quarterfinals or quarterfinals to get to semifinals, not even semifinals to get to the games.
Mm-mm.
This is one of the most elite. This is actually what
it should be games. It should be games events.
I'm going to say this is the most elite competition in the space right now.
The most elite qualifying event,
right?
Ever.
Invite only,
Has
depending on you making the games and how you performed at the games.
Right.
And then it's only 5 people can qualify online to even get there after invites are filled out. This may be the most exclusive in a positive sense, right? It's like, this is the most exclusive competition in the world. And
it's a very inclusive competition with a most exclusive.
Yeah, I know the word inclusive and exclusive mean different things these days, so everybody just like pump the dumb brakes. But yeah, this is the most elite, exclusive competition in the CrossFit competition landscape.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, you don't have the other 20. It's like, exactly.
Right.
It's only 20 to 25 people competing. The best 20 in the world based off the CrossFit Games finishing. Question here from Chad. Any idea who had the hands in the programming? I know Bridges and Spieler and Katie with a C have in the past in the competition. I heard that it's still Josh, Katie, and maybe Dan.
Yeah, I heard Dan too.
Oh, hey, JR.
What's up, JR?
Hey, if you're, I'm going to see if this guy has some. How busy are you? I dare you. Send him a link. Yes, so those have been, it was Josh and Spieler for a few years, and I think even up to last year. Dan may be new to this, but he has a lot of experience. I mean, he used to work for Rogue and had a good relationship with Katie and Josh over the years, obviously. But okay. Anyways, I wanted to set the scene for what the qualifier is really supposed to be. Event 1, 16 minutes to complete the following. You have an 8-minute cap of 200 double under buy-in. And then in the time remaining, you'll do 4 clusters at 185 and 125 and 8 bar muscle-ups. And you'll do as many reps as you can in those 8 minutes. Take a 2-minute break. And then in 6 minutes, establish a 3-rep max overhead squat from the rack. I love that it's from the rack. Because now people can get heavier.
Yeah, totally.
From
they're not limited by that pulling it from the ground or getting it from the ground, right?
Yeah. And then, well, let's go through this AMRAP. It's 200 double under buy-in. Okay, I would say different than say a buy-in of a machine, where it's kind of at a pace. It's like you can't really pace out 200. It's only 8 minutes. 200 double unders are going to take 2 to 3 minutes. So now you have 5 minutes to get through this. It's not necessarily beneficial to try to do this unbroken because the fatigue of the shoulders, the elevation of the heart rate, and what those clusters are going to do to people. I saw this comment. Oh my God. This is where I hope more people listen to this show. Someone is like, who's going to do the clusters unbroken? And I just wanted to say, as like the person who gets dead effing last in this workout, that like, here it is. Clusters should be done in singles. The bar muscle up should be unbroken. You should do the clusters in a way that you can constantly do the bar muscle ups unbroken while having to rest 30 seconds after your last cluster to get to the pull-up bar. And that's it. I say that's it, though, like that's as easy as it is. But if you do any set of this unbroken, you have totally gone the wrong way on the approach here.
Yeah. Okay. Just like what you said, we said that the 200 double unders is going to take 2.5 to 3 minutes. So that means you're working it with like 5 minutes. If you think you're going to be going unbroken on clusters and bar muscle ups, yeah, athletes can do that without a doubt. And they'll be great on doing that for about 1.5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the rest of that high intensity at that level, they're not going to be able to sustain that all the way. So you have to go to the ground anyway on the cluster.
Right.
Why do that extra work? Let it come down. That's going to be your active recovery, that little transition time, because it is going to come down to the guys that are doing the bar muscle ups as unbroken as possible, getting to them quickest, or have the least amount of rest between. If they do decide to break, it's got to be a fast break. If there's a time when you're like, you come off and you're like, you don't deserve to go to the Rogue Invitational.
Yeah. And here's another thing I like about this. I like the double under buy-in as a monostructural buy-in, different than, say, a run or a row or a bike, which is what we usually see. Haven't really seen anything like this in particular. But I love the combo of a cluster and a bar muscle up.
Oh, dude.
Right? You have a pull from the floor, squat, and a press overhead, and then you just have this huge dynamic pull down from top to toes combo. I love that. I really like this.
What's my favorite piece? I mean, I love the pieces. I think that's an awesome, the way it's put together. What I like about the buy-in versus any running or any other machine or anything like that is I think those will do more damage. Mm-hmm. And they'll fatigue you more. So now you're having to pace the back end. The double unders, no one's going to be tired. All it is a warm up to get ready to get going. So now you don't have the excuse of, well, I tried to go so far, or I tried to row really fast. I tried to get on the Echo bike and ride really hard. I tried to run this really fast so I can get in there. Everyone's going to be doing the double unders about the same. All it did is it warmed everybody up evenly, and now they can race the AMRAP segment of the clusters and the bar muscle-ups rather than who paced the first part correctly. How are they now going to manage whatever that work was onto the? It's like it's that pace lap before they drop the racing flag in car racing.
Yeah, getting those tires hot.
All it is. That's all it is, which is cool.
And then we take a 2-minute break. And then you're given 6 minutes to establish a 3-rep max overhead squat from the rack. Like we said before, from the rack allows them to lift more weight as opposed to failing and dropping and having to clean it and put it over the back of their head and go from there. So we had double unders, bounding, shoulder fatigue, heart rate. And then we go to clusters, which is that hinge pull from the floor, squat, press overhead. Okay, now we've got a lot of full body and upper body interference with the double unders to there. Now we have the bar muscle up. So now everything has been touched, all the bases. And now let me see you do an overhead squat, which you can't fake, right? Like you can.
Not for 3.
Not for 3, right?
Not for 3.
Like you have to have, and what this is also displaying is that you have to have fantastic range of motion just to be in a good overhead position. Not just for 1, but as you said, for 3. You have to have incredible shoulder strength and stability to go with that mobility to stabilize 3 reps. And at the same time is like the brute cannot succeed if they don't have all of the other really like general physical skills in line. that is demanded by an overhead squat.
Well, and we've said so many times on so many different shows that if we're going to test strength for weightlifting, me and you always tend to go this way to like a 3-rep max. Because everyone, like you can maneuver your way through 1. You can kind of wobble your way through 2, but 3 is the amount of stability and balance that you need to be able to have to support that for those 3 after already being fatigued. That's what I think is so great about the 3 rep. I love weightlifting for CrossFit, especially weightlifting competitions when they're going to test their weightlifting, that they do a 3-rep on whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it, to me, shows so much more. It's not just the absolute big guy who's going to get the heaviest weight. It levels the field a little bit more, where now you can have some smaller athletes that maybe they can't do as much on a 1 rep, but you start putting a little bit of some volume on there, or some little bit more time under tension and capacity with like that 3 rep at max weight. That's going to even that playing field out. I mean, I think it's awesome. Yep. I love it. I love this whole pros event. I love it.
Well, someone hit 365 for 3. Maybe is Guy doing it? It depends how hard they go in the AMRAP too. Like you could be the strongest person there, and if you lose, like we said, mobility, stability, and stamina and strength all in the shoulders to execute that overhead squat.
I think you could. I think you'd have someone do that.
Oh man!
I mean, that would be top. That would be top end. You know.
Yeah. Question here, Todd. Would it rather be an AMRAP or round for times? I think with the window that the AMRAP is, it's not.
It is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Right.
It's not like someone's going to be doing 13 more rounds than someone else.
Yeah. And the buy-in forces the intensity afterwards too. Cause like Bill was saying, is like, you don't have to push the pace on the double unders, but if you are not consistent and good, you can lose 30 to 45 seconds easy.
Yeah.
And that's going to be hard to make up in the next 5 minutes. Right. If it was 15-minute AMRAP, I'd probably feel a different way about it.
Yeah.
But that's a good question. All right. Workout 2, pyramid chipper, 50 calorie row, 50 toes to bar, 25 sandbag to the shoulder at 150 and 100. 50 box step overs with 50 and 35 pounds to 24 and 20 inch boxes, 25 more sandbags over the shoulder, 50 toes to bar, 50 calorie row. This is a nut kick of a chipper. Like this
is the games event right here. This is the games event. Then that's what we were talking about. Yeah. So this sits like exactly what we're talking. You're not going to see this in the quarterfinals or the semifinals.
No.
I mean, maybe some of the numbers, not at the volume of that.
Right.
I mean, that's, dude.
Yeah. So
sandbag at 50, sandbag over the shoulder. Those dumbbells. Jeez, oh man, the 50 step overs.
Like the middle part of this chipper. So cal row 50, cool. Men and women doing the same number. 50 toes to bar, it's a wash between the two. That leg drive pull into the like posterior drive into the toes to bar anterior core pull. Like I think there's just good balance there. Mm-hmm. Going back to the sandbag, it's a lot. Like that's well, I'll say this. It's a lot for the guys. Like the difference between 150 and 100, just watch any event at an elite level of what that sandbag does between the men and the women. Men are doing like sad singles. And women are just like picking it up off the ground like it's a grocery bag.
Right.
Like the word touch and go does not enter our vocabulary with a 150-pound sandbag. And on the women's side, it's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's touch and go. And it's wild. It's wild the difference there. And the same thing for the box step overs. I had Roger test, he tested an event that had 50 box step overs in it. And he tested it between men and women, and he had it at 50 and 35 at 24 and 20. He said the men were 3 minutes slower than the women.
Wow.
And then when he lowered the box for the men to 20, the men were about 30 seconds faster.
Wow.
So when we say This is one of those things is that different weights do not also mean they should have different heights. Adding 50 and 35 to a step over, fine, but that extra 4-inch on the box drastically skews the test between men and women. And the reason why I'm saying that is that when I'm looking at programming, the men are not competing against the women. I get that. It doesn't matter. But I want to see them take the same test. And I want to see a programmer that can design an event that elicits the same stimulus for both men and women. So it's when I see things like this, the weight of the bag, the height of the box with the weights, where that's when I look at it a little differently maybe than some other people. So I'm just saying this is a me thing where I like to see not only a good event for an event's sake, but also the same event for men and women. Does that make sense?
Okay, you've said this before. No, it totally does. You've said this before. We actually talked about this with the age group games event yesterday, where they had a 9-foot wall ball target, but they kept the row calories the same. Since we're keeping the row calories the same, does that even you up at all? Does that kind of balance you out? Or is it because of the 3 elements in the middle that it's too much to balance out?
I think it's too much.
I agree.
So I do believe there's some maybe thought and balance to that, but
not enough.
It is nowhere near the same. Nowhere near.
Yeah.
So the men with 50 cals, the women may be doing 35 to 36, right? Those 14 cals will maybe take 40 seconds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So call it 90-second difference between the men and the women. You are going to get a 90-second difference at the first 25 sandbags alone.
Right. It's weird because the old school of thought when you're looking at program between men and women is at 70%. And it's funny that it within our CrossFit space, it's that's never been a thing, that's 70%, but it's always been a thing, the 70%.
Yeah.
About the 150 to 100 is not 70%.
No.
That is,
but even that percentage does not illustrate how different 150 and 100 is between men and women.
No, not
also
at all.
Because of how freaking badass these girls have gotten over the years. And we say this with barbell weights.
Yeah.
185 and 125 in event 1, it should be 135.
Without a doubt.
Right? 125 it's different. Right? I'll have a hot take and I'll be fine to be wrong, but I'm just going to have the courage to say this. I wouldn't be surprised if the top 5 times out of this qualifier,
women,
maybe 10, depending on who's signed up to take it, will be women.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked at all. Because first of all, let me just reset the whole thing. This is a beast of an event, and what the filtering system is to where we're going, get after it. I like it. But this middle part is just so skewed between the two. Between the two. Simple fix, 125 and 100. So you don't have to make some weird weight that we've never used before. And then drop the box to 20 inches for the men.
Make it the same, yeah.
Make it the
same.
And
I think that's going to be that's going to be a CrossFit programming cultural thing that's going to slowly have to kind of make its way back around. You know what I mean? I think a lot of these, what was done was the program was set as this is a really cool workout, cool event to do. And then it was almost by default with the numbers. Sandbags, 150, 100. It's always that.
Right.
The box step overs are always 24 and 20. The dumbbells, always 50 and 35 or 70s and 70s and 50s. It's kind of without even thinking about it, we go there. Yep. So I think, with things like our show and bring it to attention, watching what the scores are, watching how it filters out at the end. I mean, the event will still be fine and the races will still be great, but they will be 2 different races. They will be 2 different races.
Right.
Even though it's the same setup.
Right. I like the setup.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah. Like this is a good coming off of what we just did.
Yeah.
There's not too much of the same thing. Touching some things that we didn't earlier. Yeah, okay, we're pulling from the floor again with the sandbag, but toes to bar, bar muscle ups, our cousins. Yeah, but it's a beast of a chipper.
Yeah.
Ooh, Caden, question. Fastest times. Time cap's 21 minutes. Oh, 50 cal row for the men. 2 to 3?
2.5. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, I say 2.5. 2.5, 50 toes to bar.
5.
Maybe another 2, 2.5.
Yeah, so there's 5. There's 9.
Sandbag to shoulder for the men, 25. I mean, even if you're doing one every 10 seconds.
Like that's 5 minutes right there. Dude, that's 19 minutes. If we just with the numbers that we said, that's 19 minutes before we even hit the 50 box step overs.
All right, well, let's get crazy then. All right, let's get crazy. Say, screw it.
2, 4.
2 minutes for the row because you're Jason Hopper. 2 minutes for the toes to bar because you're Colton Mertens. Now we're at 4. And let's just double that. Okay, now we're at 8. Now let's just look at the middle. We have 13 minutes to play with here. Let's say someone can do one every
3 seconds.
One every 3. I was going to say 5.
Okay, one every 5?
One every 5 seconds.
Okay.
That's how many in a minute?
10, 12
per minute. So now that's 2.
2 plus. Say 2.5. You're gonna have transitions. Say
2.5 to 2.5. So now we're at 13 minutes, and you have to do 50 box step overs in the remaining 8 minutes. I mean,
if you go that route, I mean, you're looking.
Okay, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5 on both. Row toes to bar, so double it up. So that's 5, 5. So now we're at 10. So you have 11 minutes to do the middle part. Okay. JR says 17, 18 minutes. I think that's fair. I also think you'll get a few DNFs.
Oh, yeah.
Which doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying what could possibly happen. I'm really curious to see what happens here. Because, again, we're just making assumptions, educated guesses, and I can't wait to see the leaderboard. I hope I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. I'll happily be like, I was wrong. You guys are freaking ridiculous.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah, I still don't think so.
2 different. Hey, JR, are you talking men or are you talking women on that? I think he's got to be talking men. I mean, women on that, because that's not going to be the men.
Okay. So we'll see. All right. Number 3, as we go to the halfway point of the qualifier, we have 3 rounds for time, 50-foot dumbbell suitcase carry lunges, which is just a farmer carry. 20 devil press, 50 and 35, 3 legless rope climbs, 12-minute time cap. I had to take a deep breath, but that is a lot of devil press.
Oh, yeah.
Major discrepancy between men and women again. Have you ever done devil presses with next to someone doing 35 who can handle them? You're like, are we, is this the same thing? It's crazy, right? We're doing suitcase lunges after coming off box step overs in the same thing. Like it's the same movement again.
Yeah.
The devil press coming off 50 sandbag over the shoulders is the same movement again. And then both of those going into 3 legless rope climbs. Woof.
Pull. Hold. Grip.
And this is my least favorite one of the 4.
When I was looking at this stuff yesterday,
it's in the rest of the competition.
We did in a workout here, like literally, I think it was Tuesday. It was 4 rounds for time, 200-meter run,
Okay.
16 lunges, and the way you did the lunges was 50s and 35s. You had to hold one up and hold the other one down for 8, and then you had to do it this way. Just so I think we did one of those in like was it open or a quarterfinal or something like that.
It was a regional.
Yeah.
Chipper.
So we did that one, and then we did 12 devil press, and then we did 8 bar muscle ups.
Okay.
And I was looking at this and I was like,
4 rounds, 12, 10, 8 with the run to start?
4 rounds, 16, 12, 8.
Oh, 16,
yeah.
12.
So 200-meter run, that's a 20.
Okay.
16 on the lunges, 12 on the devil press, and 8 on the bar muscle up. And I'm looking at that and I was thinking, the one before this, I was like, damn, that's crazy. Then I looked at this one and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Not the same event for those guys, other than now, I mean, the intensity that you're going to have to go.
Right. But then you see that, like, okay, 12 minutes divided by 3, 4 minutes a round.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at 20 devil presses, and like, even if you're doing like a devil press it just takes a long time.
It takes a long time. Go down and come up. It takes time.
Like 6 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, 20 of them, you're doing 60.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to be at like 6 seconds, 7 seconds.
Like, if you did one every 6 seconds, it would take you 2 minutes to do the devil presses.
Right.
And that is
time.
Moving. And the dumbbell lunge suitcase isn't difficult. It's just going to smash your grip, and that's just going to suck time.
From the rope climbs that you're going to need.
50 dumbbell lunges. I mean, how long does that take? It's not going to take more than 60 seconds.
No.
But it's going to be close, I think. And the legless rope climbs, I'm not doing one every 20 seconds. I mean,
yeah, there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a lot of time capped individuals.
Or this is like a run and jump, and you can pull up, and people are faster than that.
Yeah.
And not to mention grip from the carries, grip from the devil press, grip from the legless.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I should probably just text Josh and be like, why?
Dude.
They know he has an answer. Just brought him on.
It'll be well, because it's hard. Because I need to be hard for people.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think looking at what you're trying to accomplish, you're gonna have a lot of people that don't finish. And depending how they do the workouts, like if they do them in order or how they decide to do them, if they're doing them, whatever. If they did the chipper before this, ugly.
Yeah, I guess the order. This might be the first one I do.
Right. That's what I mean. Because you're gonna need. You can't. The other ones you can kind of get through with the grip. Like you can kind of adjust how you're holding things, but not this. You need to have as much grip as possible.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you can only push. You got to pay them. Yeah, you can only push the devil press so fast. Like, you can only go so fast on it. It's kind of like wall balls. Like, you can't speed up wall balls.
Right. You can either.
They are what they are.
Fast as this set time fixed cycle rate, or you make it harder.
Yeah.
And you don't go any faster.
Right.
The challenge here, I see this one, is that coming off of, again, not necessarily in the order that they have to go in, but like, okay, so I just look at what we did in the first one, in the first two. Pulled from the floor, squat, clean, press overhead of the cluster, bar muscle ups. Okay. And then I go to the second one. I was like, toes to bar, 100 toes to bar,
Grip.
50 sandbag cleans from the floor,
Just blasting your forearms.
and 50 box step overs with the same weight. And
Does it say in the standard how you have to hold the dumbbells?
suitcase. Well, it's over here on the side.
Well, I didn't see what it said.
Dumbbells, suitcase carry lunges. Oh, you mean for the second
For
one?
the box step overs.
Let me look. Toes to bar, sandbag over the shoulder, dumbbell step over. The standard of the box step over is 24 and 20 inches. Athletes may hold the dumbbells however they choose. Oh, so they can put them on the shoulders.
Okay.
So this is important. God, sorry, guys. Athletes hold the dumbbells however they choose, but must maintain full grip on the dumbbell handle throughout the movement.
So you just can't do the...
So you can't do like that.
You just have to have your fingers sort of under there.
But even that, like...
I mean, it's not grip, though. It's not like it's hanging from you.
Right? Okay, so that is different.
I mean, and that's 50. That's a big chunk of time, too. We talked about how much time that was going to be. Mm-hmm. So that is...
Then, like, have you ever tried to just sit here with dumbbells in this position and keep your hands on them?
Yeah, and I can do that way longer than when they're down at my side. I'm not saying it's comfortable, but I'm saying that it's better than doing it the other way.
Yeah, no,
that is a reprieve for sure.
Okay, so,
but it still
doesn't change.
Okay, so that's one thing out, but it still doesn't change the fact that like grip and grip.
Yeah,
I mean, so far we've seen 3 events of grip.
Yes.
Pull, your clusters, bar muscle ups. Grip,
100%.
grip, and grip. Everything's on the hands. Then you have that chipper, all the pulling, all the holding, the sandbags. Now the dumbbell's not as much, but they're still there. Then you have here, you got the double press pulling from the ground, all in the grip. You got the legless rope climbs. You got the suitcase carry lunges. Everything is in your hands. Your forearms are going to be pop-eyed out.
Jared said, check out the devil press. Okay. Oh, I want to. Clean and jerk to overhead is not allowed. Okay, thank God, because that's not a devil press.
Right.
Seen that in other competitions. Legless rope climb standards. The standards, legless rope climbs, individuals are not allowed to use their feet to squeeze the rope or between their thighs. I would love for anyone to actually enact that rule for the first time ever in CrossFit. Jeez. Someone just like thigh pinch their way up the rope. I'm like, is anyone going to call this? It's like traveling in the NBA.
Dude, they didn't say the knees. It's not my thighs. It's my knees.
Yeah, it's like it's a VMO. It's not my thigh. Individuals must clearly touch a mark at 15 feet. Athletes must perform a controlled descent, jumping from the top. I believe they mean dropping from the top. Is not permitted. Individuals must remain contact on the rope with their feet and hands until their feet hit the floor.
How would they do it any other way?
Drop from a 10-foot line, right?
Oh, I'm thinking, okay. So they're thinking like completely dropping from the rope. Yeah. Like if I speed rope down, my hands are on. Yeah.
Right. You can fire pull it.
Right.
If you'd like. Individuals must remain in contact with the rope with their hands until their feet hit the floor. All right.
Well, no, JR, no free dropping. I mean, you can still, believe you me, I know that you can drop very quickly on a rope.
Yeah.
Keeping your hands on it.
So another element of grip, because you have to descend or control your descent. The only thing here is that I see this interference getting in the way of people racing. And I have to do the dumbbell lunges and hold on to them, and I have to push the pace here. And now I just have to sit there and hope that my grip isn't going to keep me from being able to display. You know what I mean? It's almost like managing some. I mean, I get it. It's a part of it. All this is a part of it. Fatigue and stamina, whether it's just your grip.
But obviously, we're looking at how lopsided it is on one.
Yeah.
On one element.
Yeah. Yeah. I would have liked seeing something different.
I don't think that this one fits in the games level category that we were talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think it does.
Yeah. All right. Last one. Workout 4. 10 down to 1 strict wall facing handstand push-ups, and then a ascending weight snatch ladder with the descending reps. So rounds 10 and 9, 135 and 95, 8, 7, 185, 125, 6, 5, 205, 135. All right. Rounds 4 and 3, 225, 155. Rounds 2 and 1, 245 and 165. Okay. I don't understand. Okay. First blush thing, I really, really like this. Inverted pressing, which we needed, and then we have an ascending weight formatted snatches. Every 2, we're adding weights. I dig it. The volume is going down too. We're testing gymnastics capacity and strength with snatch, strength, technique, under 50. Like, I like this. A little push-pull.
Yeah.
Some interference. These dang girl weights, man. 135, 145. 135, 145, 155, 165. Done. Is it going to take away from anything? No.
No, not at all.
It's just my brain.
Well, but games, in the games, they would be doing that. And if we're talking that these should be programmed for games level athletes, then they should be doing games level. Well, they did win the 85, 135. They were doing that in the quarterfinals.
True, they did.
So, I mean,
sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
That's true. That's true.
Like, did they do 135 for the power, the snatches? They did it at the games for the teams.
They did in.
Did they do it at semifinals?
I want to say they did.
Continue. I'll look.
I really like this event in the mix of what we have because finally there's some pushing. We have the strict wall facing handstand push-up, which is needed. We already talked about how much pulling there is and how much grip there is. Now, granted,
it was 185, 125.
Oh, dang it. Okay. Well, that wasn't games. Games, they did 135.
True.
Okay, thank God. But I do like that we're doing a specific press. We need to have a specific press in there for sure. The snatch, even though it's more of a pull, there is that secondary, stability on the shoulder that we have. Cool. But man, dude, there's like no pressing in this entire thing. It's like,
oh, you got the clusters.
Okay.
Clusters and a devil press.
That's going to be your support. Like the snatch is your support. I mean, I get it, but that's not the main. That's the secondary part of that. I like that they have it. I wish they had another pure press in one of the events rather than it being the cluster. Yeah, but it's a lot of hip driven to pop it out. You're just finishing it. I mean, which I guess is close to a handstand push-up because you're not really pressing from like the shoulder width on a handstand push-up. But I do like this one. I like the way it's set up too. I like
this one a lot.
I like the way it's set up too.
Caden, great comment. They said wall facing. I've immediately forgot about workout 3, and this is the best event ever programmed. Wall facing. I love it. This format, love it. I love the ascending weights. I love the descending reps. I love the wall-facing handstand push-ups for who we're trying to bring to the Rogue Invitational. It brings something that we needed, as you said, with inverted, or not inverted pressing, but just pressing in general.
A straight pressing. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
One thing we didn't really talk about when we were looking at these is, did you see the time caps on all of these?
Yeah.
On all of these.
18 for this one. Workout 3 is 12. Workout 2 is 21. Workout 1 is 16.
I mean, okay, maybe they have the 6. Maybe that's like their fast one on the part A.
Yeah.
Of that.
8 minutes. Heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I wish they could have done to balance it is on
That third one.
workout 3. Cut that down to where you can make that more more of a sprint.
I was kicking an idea around earlier, and I think I was kicking around with JR. It's like, take out the lunges because those are there for what reason?
Right.
So,
To
just
tie
do
your
like
hands out.
15 devil press and 5 regular rope climbs, 3 rounds for time. And just go as hard as you can. And you're not going to get hurt by going hard on the devil press.
So you said 15?
15 devil press, 5 regular rope climbs, 3 rounds for time.
What about this?
I think both are taking 90 seconds.
What about this? 8 or 10 rounds, 5 devil press, 1 legless rope climb.
Okay.
In fact, I'd say 8 because that way you speed it up.
Yeah.
You push the tempo.
Something fast and not fatigue dependent.
Yeah.
Because even the 8-minute AMRAP one is a pacing.
Yeah.
It's not mind blowing intensity.
No.
So.
No, because that one's all about, are you able to get those bar muscle ups? What are they going to look like? You have to be able to hold that.
Right. All right. End of the day, we have what we have. We have the AMRAP into the overhead squat 3-rep max. You have the monster chipper. You have the grip extravaganza. And then you have the 10-to-1 descending reps of inverted pressing gymnastics at a very high skill. Snatches, high volume. I mean, it's 55 snatches.
Yeah.
At ascending weights. I don't think anybody fakes their way through this. Like, nobody got in because this was what I was good at. So I think whoever the 5 come out are not necessarily
upper
like
body pulling champions.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think anyone's that good at upper body that they're going to like be better than everybody. It's almost so far in that direction. It's like nobody's going to benefit from that, you know? So.
I agree with that. I think that they are, all of them are extremely challenging. They're going to push all of the high-end athletes without a doubt. Yeah, I can see that, JR. I can see that. I mean, we've said it. I think it is definitely skewed from the pulling with the emphasis on the grip for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, these would be really fun. They will be grindy to watch.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you're right. I think that the athletes that do get through, you know, especially when you look at some of the events that they've had at the Rogue Invitational,
right?
I think it definitely will get your right alternate 5 athletes to get in there and mix it up with the big names of competition to where they can do these types of things. So you're not going to have someone that makes it in there that's going to get like, what the hell is that guy doing here?
Yeah, and that's
like that's not going to happen.
At the end of this qualifier,
the
people that come out of it on top are people that should be formidable with the ones that got invited.
Yeah,
to begin with.
Yeah,
because keep in mind the people that are not getting invited that competed at the CrossFit Games can also
do the qualifier.
Would also be in the mix here, not just people that didn't make the CrossFit Games. So.
They need to use, I see a lot of like Theragun use on the forums.
All right. If you could pick order before we sign off here, pick order of events that you would do.
3, 4.
Okay.
Probably 1 and then 2. And the reason I say that, even though like that's the grindy one, like 2, I think that like if it was me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have decent capacity, so I would be able to kind of hang with that one rather than that trying to get that out of the gate and relying on the other stuff and kind of it's like where is your degradation going to go down? Like
Yeah.
what's going to be your worst? Your how do you shore up against your weak spot? So I think I'd be shoring with being fresh on the other ones
Okay.
and letting my fitness kind of help me through on this one here on the last one. So I think that would be my order. So 3, 4, 1, 2.
3, 4, 1, 2. All right. I think I'm going to be completely different. You got 3 days to do this. So it's the 25th through the 28th. It's only 4. I don't really see a reason to repeat anything unless you just
Hell no. No. There's no repeats in that.
I don't know even know if you can. I might go 1 fresh for the clusters in the bar, like fresh for the AMRAP, fresh for the overhead squat, and take that into 4. Because I look at all the movement patterns, things getting tested in 1 is for me, the best setup for me to go into handstand push-ups because of all the press to overhead, not all the, like the press overhead that we did, a heavier overhead squat than I'm going to be snatching.
Yeah.
And so maybe like put like depending on how I feel, because listen, the event 4 isn't a burner.
No.
It's a pacer. Right? I want to be hit on my list clean to not offset maybe over fatiguing because of poor range of motion and movement and quality for the handstand push-ups. So I'd probably go 1, 2 on the first day. And then day 2, just do one of them. And day 3, man.
Which one would be your last one?
I think the last one, honestly, is going to be the 3. I'm going to go 1, 2, 4. No, sorry. 1, 4. 1, 4, 2, 3. 1, 4 in day 1.
Okay.
2 on day 2, just a long chipper. I'd be better at that one. Just because I want to be, like, I don't need grip in my posterior smashed from 3.
Yeah.
Which is going to happen after 60 devil presses, suitcase carries, and legless. Like, I'm like, and just save that one that would ruin other things for me for the end. I think 3 would affect 2 more than 2 will affect 3.
That's why, well, yeah, for that reason, that's why I'm splitting those 2 up.
Yeah.
Like I would do 2 on the very last day. I would want that one to be all by itself.
Right.
And it's funny because like when you think, what affects what, I think a lot of athletes, when they listen to like which, what's the order that you should pick, like it's really athlete specific. Where are your strengths and where are your deficits? Because like, what do you need to shore up against to make sure that you have the best opportunity through this? And that's why I think that I wish that a lot of competitions would not allow people to do that.
Oh, like change the order.
Yeah. Like you shouldn't be able to adjust the order based on what makes you better. It's like, no, we're racing and everyone needs to race the same race at the same time so that everyone is going boom, 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 whichever it is. And the compounding effects of each event, because that, as a programmer, and you think about this and JR thinks about this, it's like, how do you have these events and they aren't individual pieces that have nothing to do with anything else. Like a programmer sees all of the pieces that you're using. It's like, well, I can't do this movement again because I already did this over here. Right. All right, well, that's fine. But now you have to think of where you're going to put those, because you want people to have a particular experience as they're going from one to the next. And maybe you're doing this particular event, but I just programmed these other things because I want that to affect this, So if everyone isn't doing it in the same order, then you're not getting that same effect. But I know that online qualifiers are hard to do that with, but
yeah, especially in 4.
Totally. Totally.
All right.
I can't wait to see how it shuffles out, though.
Me too. And again, like this is all before we see it take place. Analyzing programming before the programming actually gets tested is tough to do. I'm fine putting an opinion out there that could possibly be wrong in the future because it helps me learn and get better going forward. But yes, we shall see at the end of the weekend. All right, Element 26 thumb tape review out of 2. Event 1, dig it. Event 4, dig it. Weights, look. Weights be the weights, whatever. Event 2, I like the whole thing, but between the two men and women, there's a difference. And I was like, I wish more would have gone into that. That being said, it doesn't take away from who is getting tested by themselves. It's men versus the men, women versus the women, and they go forward. So, okay, I'll give it a half there. And workout 3, that one's a miss for me. So I would say 1. Let's say like everything gets a half. Oh, nope.
This is a totally different way than you've ever done it. You've actually tried to put the parts together and then add it up. And
what do I like out of 4? And everything got like 1/2 thumb and 0.0. Oh, 1.1. I'll give it a 1.1.
Okay.
I would have just like a little extra, again, personal bias, extra thought into weights, combinations of movements, fatigue elements, and the discrepancy between men and women.
I agree with all those things. I think that I was gonna say 1.25.
And you go above me.
I will. And I was laughing about that because that's usually never the case. I don't think I disliked 3 as much as you did, although I would have liked to
I'm more
change it.
confused about 3. So
no, totally. Yeah. But again, with constantly looking back to okay, well, who are we testing, and are the people that are going to get through the right people to compete up against, and are you going to be able to fake your way through it? And I don't think that that's the case. And I mean, especially knowing that Josh is one of the if it's him and Katie and Dan, or I know Josh is in the mix. Josh loves devil press. I mean, you see that dude doing dumbbell work all the time, sandbag work all the time. So I could see him I can see elements of him all over. So I mean, I like this event. I just did, like I said, our version of it here, and it was fun. I think it's a fun one. I think that there were some other changes you could have made to it. The weights are the weights too. I agree with what we've seen with the women versus the men, and that culture has to change at some point. And I think it's just going to take big name events and the programmers that are involved with them to do that. And I think they just have to think about that. I think as a whole, we don't think of it as enough. So I'll go 1.25. I think it'll still be fun to do, fun to watch, honestly. I mean, these would look really fun to do. I want to do the cluster muscle up one, honestly. Bad.
Oh,
even at that weight, awesome.
Yeah.
Bring it. I'll have my tempo. It's not games level tempo, but that I like that whole deal.
Ooh, J.R. Howell, Mr. Garrard, Ricky Mack is on the leaderboard.
Ooh.
Surprised you can do that stuff. I mean, overhead squat, snatch, wall facing handstand push-ups with that shoulder. Cluster bar muscle ups. I mean, that's a lot on the shoulder, man.
Tested it out with the high rocks. We must be doing all right.
True. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Ricky. I'd like to see Guy. I'd like to see all the people that we didn't get to see.
Yeah.
In the mix there. So, all right, team. Thanks for joining us today. Good luck to everyone taking on the Q. Have fun to everyone taking on the C. And I was going to do some cheesy "see you next week." I'll leave that to the Sean Woodlands of the world. But yes, a massive good luck and happy, healthy, go get 'em weekend for all you guys that are doing the Rogue Invitational Q Qualifier. We'll be watching on the leaderboard. Maybe do a little recap or recall next week once we see things unfold on the leaderboard. Other than that, Bill, have a great weekend. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend as well. And talk to you guys soon.
Have a great weekend, everybody.